Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today we find ourselves duking it out on Arena in a match between our red Korean Kingstone and our teal Hindustani Z40305-125. I don't know if this alphanumeric code stands for anything. I'm going to call this player Zed. If you know their real name or if the player watches this, please do let me know what to call you in the future if I cast any of your videos. But for now, I'm going to call this player Zed. Now, as the players explore their walled-off bases, look for food, herd all kinds of herdables to go up to feudal, let's take a look at the matchup that we're, going to observe today. In one of the greatest ironies of Age of Empires, the Koreans are classified as a defensive civilization, but you really wouldn't know it from how players are using them. The current meta seems to be super quick, super aggressive expansion out onto the map, and it's all thanks to a few bonuses that the Koreans get. First of all, tower upgrades are free, and stone miners work faster. I'll repeat that. Tower upgrades are free, and stone miners work faster, which makes a lot of players follow the meta of a tower rush. Their archer armor upgrades are also free, and their military units, except for siege, cost less wood. Now, later in the game, Koreans can also add range to their towers and add range to their catapults, which is what I call the Mangonel line, Mangonel Onager, etc. One of the cool features about their Mangonels, the Mangonel line, is that their minimum range is reduced from 3 to 1, which makes them very powerful at supporting any kind of defensive or offensive play, really. Having a 1 range as opposed to a 3 makes it easier to attack ground at, melee units that are coming at you. So super powerful. Catapult line, Mangonel line, whatever you want to call it for the Koreans. Their unique unit is the War Wagon, which is a very tanky mounted archer unit with a healthy amount of HP. I think the base War Wagon one is 150, the Elite's 200. They have a lot of pierce armor, and they have one of the strongest base attacks of any archer unit in the game. I believe they attack on a 9, and their pierce armor is 3 or 4, depending on which version of the War Wagon you have. As I said, very tanky, very strong mounted archer units, so you can imagine it's quite expensive. 100 wood, 60 gold, but keep in mind the Korean bonuses. 20% off wood, and armor upgrades are free. So the War Wagon, although it moves kind of slow, I like to think of it as a version of the Ballista Elephant, in the sense that if you have enough of a death ball of them, if you have 20, 30 plus of them gathered in one spot, they're very hard to deal with unless you invest into very expensive units that can handle them. That being said, if anyone can handle the War Wagons, it is our Hindustani player. This is a civ, as I've mentioned before, it packs a real punch. Their villagers are cheaper, all the way up to 25% cheaper than Imperial. Their camels attack faster, their gunpowder units have extra armor, and some of their scouts get an attack bonus against buildings. One of the deadliest upgrades in the game gives their hand cannons an extra +2 range. So if we're lucky enough to see any kind of gunpowder play out of our Hindustani teal player, hopefully Zed researches the upgrade to give the hand cannons extra range. They have 2 unique units, and one of them is very interesting. So I was recently playing CBA, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a short version of Castle Blood Automatic. It's a map in Age of Empires where there's literally no economy. You are spawning military endlessly, and whatever civilization you get, you spawn their unique unit. I got Hindustanis, I was spamming Gulams, and they were just shredding through Korean War Wagons because they do have an extra attack bonus against archers, and because of the way they attack, they actually attack multiple units. So the Gulam here could be a potential counter to anything our Korean player puts out, if we are lucky enough to get into that stage of the game where we're seeing bloodshed between unique units. Their last unique unit, I forgot to mention, they actually have 2, not just 1. Like most civs, their second unique unit's the Imperial Camel, which is just basically a very tanky, heavy camel with a massive +18 attack bonus against other cavalry. A bit smaller bonus against camels, but +18 against cavalry is always fun to watch. Now, as I was rambling, as I am wont to doing, our teal Hindustani is going up to feudal. sitting on the back of 21 villagers, while our Korean player is growing the villager count, 23 going up to 26. He has the resources to go up to feudal, does Kingstone, but I think he's opting to get into feudal with more villagers. So we'll see what that means for him. Sometimes it means that players get into feudal with basically almost an immediate ability to go up to castle, because their villagers, I mean, look at the villager count. It's going to be 26 to 22, or 21 rather. So he's at a 5 villager advantage. By the time he gets to feudal, he might just have boomed already, and we'll have an easier time going to castle. That being said, let's not try to predict anything. He's going up to feudal right now, is our red Korean, but Zed is knocking on his doorstep. We have a barracks, we have an archery range, very much... I was about to say something, but then this stopped. What happened here? I'll have to rewind after the game is over and add an in-screen graphic here. I don't know what happened to this section of the wall, why there's a house on the outside. This is very unusual. But here we go. We have a tower rush, not by our traditional civilization that does it, but by our Teal Hindustani. Zed is becoming very aggressive very early on. I wonder if this is just his playstyle, or if he knows he's up against the Koreans, who like to tower rush themselves, and he's saying, before you get a chance to tower rush, I'm going to tower rush you. Now, this is a decent location for a tower. Red's a little bit slow to, come and wall this off. This is a good location for a tower. It doesn't really zone out any minerals or food or anything like that, gold or whatever, just one berry bush. But he will be able to attack this gate, which will open up the avenue into the base. That being said, he's opting to go for this much weaker house that has 750 HP as opposed to the gate with 1650. But Red knows exactly what he's up to and plops down a market to block this. But I say but a lot. Our red players might be a little bit in trouble here, because Teal, the zoning of the tower up here, if you take a look, how can he complete this market without coming under fire? Any villager that tries to finish this market immediately dies, or immediately takes damage. Yeah, this is the only way he can do it, is you have to mass villagers and just take the damage. There's nothing you can really do here. And let's see if he finishes the market. For now, we're fixated on this frontal attack. What does our Teal Hindustani have behind this? Not much. He's got a blacksmith at home, 2 lumber camps, archery range here. Does not have the resources to go up to castle yet. He has the structures, but not the resources to go up to castle. Villagers attacking walls. So this game already is getting quite chaotic. Chaotic and confusing. Why was there a house here? Why are villagers attacking walls? Why is the scout cavalry attacking a wall? Our red player says, you know what, I don't want to deal with this. I'm just going to wall off this chunk of the of my base where you're attacking. He's garrisoning 5 archers into here, so that tower is going to attack pretty strongly. He's got to move some of these back. They're going to fall very quickly to the tower with 5 garrisoned units inside. Another tower going down on the inside. This one's a lot more dangerous. Yeah, it's starting to encroach into the base, but are you really going to go tower battle with a Korean player? Let's see. So far, a Hindustani player not doing too much actual damage, despite the fact that he's, managed to break into Kingstone's base. These archers are going to be fun to watch, but I don't expect too much damage out of them. I mean, they attack on a 5. Feudal army is not the strongest, but always good at shooing away any kind of villagers. Another good tower placement. I'm generally not a fan of placing towers right next to or adjacent to your opponent's walls. And the reason I say this is because red at any moment can delete this portion of the wall. And when he deletes this portion of the wall, he can move infantry, he can move any kind of units to this little tile and attack the tower without getting attacked himself. That being said, he would, in this specific case, he'd have to deal with 5 archers. But generally speaking, when you build a tower right next to the wall, if your opponent deletes that wall, you might be in trouble because they'll send units to attack the tower and you can't defend until you get into castle and research murder holes, which he is, as I'm talking, he's actually accumulated 700 food and 160 gold. So he is very close to going up to castle. Red player, nowhere close. You know why? Because he's already going up to castle. He's 30 seconds away. Like I said, when you build extra villagers in even as early as Dark Age, even right at the beginning of the game, you give yourself the ability when you enter into feudal to go fast castle. And that just puts you at a huge advantage over your opponent, even though the extra villagers you build in the beginning, in my opinion, it's a trade-off, because take a look at the villager count now. Kingstone was ahead by 5 villagers, now he's behind by 11. There's always a trade-off in this game. There's never one right answer, one right solution, but whatever strategy you decide to employ, always make sure you're comfortable dealing with this, with the consequences of it. And the consequences here of getting to fast castle is that he's doing it on the back of 10 fewer villagers. So he's going to need some time to build up his economy, while our teal player is going to go up to castle sitting on basically 39-40 villagers. So when he hits castle, he's going to hit the ground running. The question is, our teal player is a minute away. How many villagers can our Korean player produce so that when the Hindustanis get to castle, yes, that their villager counts will be similar. For now, the villager count's shrinking, but our red player says, you know what, keep your villager advantage. I'm going to take my bruised and battered villagers to your base. And I like this. It's not flush against the wall here, so he can defend if any portion of this wall does go down. Okay, our Hindustani player is trying to lame the entries and exits of Red's base. He wants to keep him confined. That being said, Red is here, and Red's got a castle, and Red is thiefing your gold. So what are you going to do about it? These towers are great, but feudal pressure, not the strongest, especially when your opponent has walls, especially when your opponent has already walled off an entire section of their base. I don't expect these towers to do much. I think Teal has to turn around and go home to deal with this castle drop. Yes, our first war wagons, our first tower. Oh, maybe not. And now we have the exact opposite of what we had in the beginning of the game. Red is putting on the static aggression. Oh my god, another castle. What an amazing place for a castle. But yeah, look at this. These archers don't stand a chance. The weakest feudal age archer against a war wagon with 150 HP and 5 pierce armor at this point. Yeah, those archers are not doing anything. So we have a reverse of what we saw literally 10 minutes ago. Now Red is into Teal's base. How is Teal responding? He's lamed this entrance. He's lamed that entrance. He's attacking here. The problem is for Teal that Red already snuck out a whole bunch of villagers. And is now, you know, putting his feet up, taking off his, his outer clothes and getting very comfortable in Teal's base. I mean, this is a holiday guest that is not leaving at the end of the holidays. He is here to stay. And let's see what he can get done, because, you know, feudal tower rush here is fine. It's cute. It's dandy. These are going to pick away at these buildings 1 HP unit at a time. These castles are another issue. Our Hindustani player builds his own counter castle. Both castles, I think, can reach each other. For now, very minor advantage to our Hindustani player just by virtue of his castle having fired a little bit earlier, while the Korean castle was focused on the town center. Okay, more stone for our Hindustani, so he's probably looking to build more structures. Oh yeah, okay. And here we go. As I said, the Ghulams, I mean, you need more quantity than 1 against 4, but with their plus attack bonus against archer units, if he masses enough Ghulams, and to get rid of this, 4 carts, a mass would be, what, 7, 8? He'll demolish these war wagons very quickly. But our Korean player is continuing to build war wagons. He's up to 6. Let's see if we see him able to attack around any of these Ghulams. No, instead focuses on the monk. Let's see if our Hindustani researches redemption. Oh, wow. Well, he lost two monks to this Mangonel, which has 2 kills at this point. Okay, our red player is swarming. Our teal player is building a base outside of here. Oh, look at this. There's a huge migration here. He is abandoning ship. Oh, wow. I mean, smart move here by teal. These war wagons are roaming the south of your base. You've got a Mangonel, another castle, a 3rd castle in his base. I mean, this is very, what's the word, prescient of teal. He knew that there's 0 chance that he could defend this wood line. I mean, what does he have? He's got 7 military, 6 now because he lost a scout cav. I mean, I like that he's getting these minerals in the middle of the map, but what the hell? He's completely abandoned his base. We'll see where he goes. We'll see how far he can run. For now, we have a second. Oh, you gotta do something with these villagers. We have an expansion here to the west, basically proving the song "Go West." Life is peaceful there. Let's see what he does. Okay, sending a few villagers to the north. Is this for? Okay, a house. Very chaotic game so far by both players. No, not for that house. It's for a castle. And he says, you know what? You're tiefing my gold. Or you were tiefing my gold. I'm going to start tiefing yours. Plus, there's a relic here. Very good positioning for a teal castle here from our Hindustani player. Any kind of reinforcement sent from the base will be caught up either by the towers to the right or the castle to the left. That being said, red has no reinforcements coming from his base because red has built his entire position full frontal here. Yeah, you got to do something with this Mangonel. Attack a house, attack the camp, do something. Don't just roam with it. But yeah, look at this. This is what I was talking about. The Koreans classified as a... Oh, he catches the villagers, but not quick enough. Great play here by our teal Hindustani. And now he's going to get a whole bunch of gold with these 8 villagers. Maybe 9 once she wakes up and runs to the safety of the mining camp and the castle kill zone. But this is what I was talking about. The great irony of the Koreans being classified as a defensive civilization. Oh, we got monk snipes going down. Let's see. 2. 3 war wagons converted for the price of 3 monks. These archers are still alive? Amazing. Okay, let's see what our Hindustani player can do with his freshly acquired war wagons. For now, he's got to turn around and hoof it because 5 or 6 is still greater than 3. And in this game, math is basically the law of the land. Interesting. He's still producing war wagons. He's up to 10, but that's all he's producing, just war wagons, and he's now booming with villagers. That being said, despite the fact that he had to run away and relocate to the west, our teal Hindustani is still at a villager advantage. Let's see what red has seen. Okay, so he's seen the farms, he's seen the town centers, the monasteries. It'd be good for him to knock a few of these down just to protect against any kind of relic gold. Another castle going down. What is the War of the Castles today? These are still picking at each other. Nothing really happening here. Gold being tiefed all over the map. Let's see. Will a Korean guard tower be able to stave off this attack? Let's see the villager micro. Oh, they are dying. All the left, right, and center. Oh, that is very sour. The castle's stuck at 88%, and he deletes it. Ooh, he did not want to rush in with 5 damaged villagers. They would have been sniped very quickly. I mean, he could have sent other villagers, but overall a wiser choice here to save villagers as opposed to a castle, because what the hell is that castle going to do when it's up here at the front? I mean, Red's entire military production is here. So a castle at the front of his base that is a static building, he needs something that can enter Red's base and start sniping and killing these villagers, because without them, like I said, the War Wagon is very expensive. Even with the 20% wood savings that the Koreans get, I mean, they do save on the upgrades, but it's still a super expensive unit. You want to attack the villagers. You want to make sure his economy starts suffering. This wood line is juicy. If Teal can get into here, I mean, this is 29 villagers that can be killed very quickly. Once they die, there's no more wood for Red, and once there's no more wood for Red, this offensive stalls completely. Another monk trying to cast his spell to convert this war wagon fails. Another solo monk comes. These monks like to operate solo. Where are you going? Yeah, exactly. Turn around. Yeah, Teal needs to clump his monks a bit. I don't know that sending them one at a time against 9, now 10 war wagons is the way to go. Okay, I like this defensive tower. That's where the villagers were going. These war wagons just fire too slowly. They're not going to be able to stop this castle from going up. And it's up. Will it even get a war wagon? Let's see. No, I think I was reading a Reddit thread that about death animations, and somebody voted for the Korean War Wagon death animation as the #1 coolest, and it got, I think, the second or third most upvotes. So hopefully we'll get to see some cool wagons collapsing. I don't know where this guy's going. He's going straight to Hindustani Town because he just got converted. Yeah, set your waypoints not at your enemy monks. Okay, Red ran away for a little bit, but now he's back with 14 war wagons and a mangonel. That being said, Teal has amassed his own little mini private mercenary army of war wagons. They will do anything for that gold. Ugh, another monk going down. Kingstone has killed 55 units to Zed's 16, so very much advantage Kingstone in this game so far. Oh, and now he's going to park himself here to the north. I mean, you could even go here with the war wagons. You're going to take fire from the town center, but not the castle. And if he puts them here, this entire villager line has to relocate yet again. Okay, mining gold here. He's given up the gold here by virtue of this one tower being very pesky and annoying. Okay, where are these miners going? They're carrying gold, so they're probably coming here. But what will our Korean player do? For now, he's circling Teal's fresh expansion base with a bunch of war wagons. Neither player really looking like they want to go up to Imperial anytime soon. I mean, they both have the structures, but none of them are even close to having the resources needed. Okay, let's see if he can snipe that mangonel. Gets it. Yeah, you've got to run away. Zed is incredibly confident in his ability to hold off Red's attack with 4 or 5 war wagons and a handful of monks. I mean, 5 monks, you'll heal these war wagons fairly quickly. What do we have here? Oh, Siege Workshop's going down for both players. Look at the chaos of your mini-map. I mean, this castle is still up, but now we're getting siege rams, so it's not going to be up for much longer. What's in here? He's got a monk inside the monastery. Very interesting. I mean, if it spawns to the right, it dies to the castle. If it spawns to the left, it might live another day. I wonder if I missed any kind of upgrade for the monks. Did he research redemption so he can convert mangonels? I'm not sure. For now, though, as I said, Red is just circling. He enters the kill zone of the Teal Castle, immediately loses a war wagon. Upgrades on these war wagons, not the best. I mean, he's foregone the attack upgrade, so he's at a +1, +2. Now he's getting his own monks out and going up to 2 monks. Oh, I like this by our Teal player. I like this expansion. Look, so he's building his military production here. He's going stables. He wants to get in real... Oh, look at those. Look at the spell casting on our Teal's monks. How many of these will he get? Let me highlight. He gets 1, 2. Wow. And forces them into the range. So, 2 quick comments as I interrupt myself. I don't like this positioning here for Teal. The reason being what we just saw happen. For Red, rather. This is a fantastic position for Teal, because when they fought here, Teal had to run away because of the way he placed these and because of how chunky and big these war wagons are. They're clunky. So how do you escape from the north? You have to go through the firing, the kill zone of the Teal castle, like he's doing now. Look, he's not even under attack, and just to move left, he has to come under fire just because of how big and chunky these are. He can go to the south, but it'll take much longer, and he might potentially come under attack here. So I'm not a big fan of this positioning here for Red. I think he kind of stubbed his own toe a little bit. That being said, I don't think he cares too much because this castle is literally going down as I say it. Second is, I love this for Teal. So he puts his military production facilities here behind a wall of houses. So not a stone wall and not a fully closed off wall, because he knows these Korean units move slow. First, they'll attack the houses. By the time they attack the houses, he'll have an opportunity to build whatever he wants out of these stables. And what he wants right now is apparently light cav, because he is a minute away from going up to Imperial. And we have our first armored elephant out onto the map. You're going the wrong way, my elephant friend. But yeah, with that monk there, I guess he's going the right way, because you don't want to lose that to a convert. Reveals the light cav very early on. I would have maybe waited a bit. I think our Teal Hindustani should go Gulams here, just again by virtue of I played them at CBA and they just shred through war wagons. I mean, you're going to lose a whole bunch, but they're quite strong against them with that attack bonus. And here we go. Our Teal player is now in Imperial. What will he do? For now, focusing down mangonels. Why are they not dying? Why is there a random monk here in the middle of the fray? Here come the light cav, but oh my god, what an amazing attack round from our Korean player. Fantastic. In one volley, removes the entire threat to these war wagons. Where is he going? You're in the wrong neighborhood, my friend. I mean, advantage here for our Korean player, even though the military numbers are the same. We're looking at 20 to 20. These light cavs don't get any kind of bonus, I don't think, against archer units, do they? Ugh, they're just melting. Look how tanky these are. 1400 in HP. And this is bad for Zed. I mean, he's streaming units in one at a time, which is not what you want to do. Okay, our red Korean player Kingstone has reclaimed this gold from Hindustani occupation. He has liberated it and is now mining it himself. What a cheeky placement for a watchtower, or an outpost, rather. Gives him so much vision. I think Zed thinks he's safer than he really is here. I mean, I would not be putting farms here. I'd be putting farms here. I mean, I know it's a worse part of the map, and not as, you know, you can't really clump them in a big square. You'd have to put them more in a rectangle, but look how exposed these farmers are. And now, after streaming units in one at a time, feeding our red Korean, his military count is literally at almost 4 times the size of our Teal Hindustani. This might just be GG here, but another convert, another war wagon. There's that death animation. Those poor horses. Villager, farmer dies right on top of them. Ugh, insult to injury. And yeah, look at this. This is now what, the third or fourth migration, mass migration of villagers out of our Teal player. A castle going down right in his face. As I said, these farms are nice, but I think Teal thought he was safer than he really was, just by virtue of having so many light calves, but he threw them away. Our Korean player has come. Look at Teal's base. All the resources are now up for Red's taking. I mean, if I was Red, why not put down another 20 or 30 villagers here while you're building your army and just suck up all these resources? Yeah, our Teal player is just feeding at this point. The military count is growing. He's at 17, so he's at about half of the military count. But what is it? It's light cav. He's going up to 28, so he might overwhelm with numbers. Our first Treb is out. And let's see if our Red Korean reacts, if he guns it down with a Mangonel or with War Wagons. For now, these War Wagons, again, they're archer units. They're not going to destroy buildings super fast. Plus, they're not elite. He is nowhere close to going up to Imperial. Not that he cares. Why would he? He's sitting at 33 army supply. 33... Oh, that's unfortunate for Teal. Yeah, that might be the nail in the coffin here, losing your super expensive siege units. But as I was saying, our Red Korean does not care that he's in castle. He's got complete control and domination of the map. Let's look at his line of sight. He sees everything on the map. He knows that he's cornered his opponent into the western pocket of the map. And now look at his villager counts. 100 to 75, 76. Our Hindustani player is no longer producing villagers, so he's resigned to his fate. 29 villagers on food will not sustain a cavalry rush, unfortunately. He needs, honestly, I would say at least 45 plus at this stage of the game, but where is he going to put them? There's nowhere to put them except where I said, like here. But you can fit, what, 6 farms into here? Another convert, another death. I don't know where this guy thinks he's going, but immediately dies under castle fire, Mangonel fire, and War Wagon fire. And now Kingstone has bifurcated Teal's Zed's base entirely. So there's this entire portion to the north, and there's an entire portion to the south. Kingstone, I think, might be focusing. Hopefully, once he gets rid of these stables for his sake, he moves south and doesn't continue, you know, deleting houses and destroying houses, because that might give his Hindustani opponent time to get back into the game. Okay, we have a light cav revolution here to the south. Still no murder holes for our Korean player. I'm always baffled by why pro players don't get murder holes, but this is what happens. You have a bunch of light cav that just swarm your structures. That being said, they attack on an 8, not the strongest units. But, you know, they'll get the job done eventually. The castle's already down by about 20%. And this is what I was talking about. Red is fixating on structures right now, which is fine when you're attacking military buildings, but this Mangonel can be doing a lot more damage than attacking a farm that's not being farmed. Right? Place it here. Place it here. In any event, he's so far ahead. I mean, look at the scores. 3,000 points ahead. Finally, he listens to me even though he can't hear me, and just decides to move in for the kill. I mean, these War Wagons are going to take a lot of damage from the castle, but given the quantity, he does not care. Yeah, look at it. He's blocking the path of the villagers. Yet another migration underway, but this time there's literally 28 War Wagons in the way, so these villagers are not going to survive. Wow. This band of War Wagons has 73 kills. 73 kills just for this group. And yeah, Zed wisely decides to GG. I mean, what can he do at this point? Fantastic play here by both players. Such a fun game. So chaotic. But look at Zed's castle placement. I'm going to zoom out. Nothing to the east, because, you know, why you need anything there? There's no, you know, your opponent has nothing there except stables and an archery range. And just a spine of castles from the south all the way to the northwest. This is like the Rocky Mountains of castles here. And just completely zoning out. I mentioned in a previous cast that I think the primary purpose, you might disagree, I might get a lot of flack for this, but the primary purpose of a castle is zoning, in addition to its ability to produce unique units and research things, etc. As a military structure, I don't think anyone, you know, you might win a game by castle dropping, etc., but the vast majority of games, this is a zoning structure. So look how he's pushed Teal back entirely into this pocket. This is the entirety of Teal's base. First, he ran away from the south of his base, and now he's stuck here. Now there's nowhere left to go. I mean, he could have expanded to the north, but there's no castle here. He's got no stone. He's sitting on 30 stone, 1,000 food. So Should Teal have gone up to Imperial? Was his game plan to build Siege? I don't know. But by virtue of just the sheer cost of going up to Imperial, 1,000 food, 800 gold, I think that was the nail in the coffin. He dug himself into a hole he couldn't get out of because, yeah, you're sitting on 2 Trebs now. And where are the Trebs? Okay, he's clearing up the south portion of the base. So this is smart, just because look at how many resources are still left here for Teal to mine if he can clear this space up. But look at this. What defense do you have to protect these Trebs? You have a half-dead light cav with a +1/+2 upgrade against war wagons that have 150 HP, attack on an 11, and have a +2 defense upgrade. So, yeah, a wise move here by Teal. Once he realized he couldn't run north, east, or south, he GG'd. I saw the writing on the wall. Great play here by our Red Korean Kingstone. And like I said, it's one of the great ironies of Age of Empires that they're classified. Not that the classification really means anything. It's not nothing official, etc. But they're classified as a defensive civ. Does this look like a defensive civ to you? Look at the minimap. Does this look like a defensive civ to you? 5 castles going down. And Teal has nowhere to go. He's cornered him into the western part of the map. I wonder if the game would have lasted longer if Teal had expanded this way. I'm not too sure what he got here, this light cab, but he has 1 kill. Looks like he attacked a tent of some kind, or an outpost, maybe. But he was coming in... Yeah, he built a stable here. He's building light calves, but... I think if our Teal Hindustani, if Zed had gone Ghulams instead of light cav, would have been better for him. But I mean, I get it. What gold do you have here to help produce Ghulams? 0. You completely lost all of the resources of your base. So for a player that lost an entire base, access to all this gold. How much gold is here? 7,400 gold. 1,000 stone lost. I think he put up a stellar defense. I think Kingstone was being very careful, very cautious, which, behooves a player of his elo. Both players, high elo, by the way. Take a look at the top of your screen. So he was very cautious. At first, he got rid of the military structures, which is the less risky way to do things, because you don't want to shove your war wagons here, get a bunch of villager kills, and then get stuck between an army and a castle and town centers firing down on you. These are tanky, but they're not invincible. They're not immortal. Look at the HP on them. They're at about 2/3 HP already. So smart move to get rid of the infrastructure here to make sure there's no backstabs. And the second he did that, he jumped in, pounced, killed 73 units, villagers, etc., and got the W. So fantastic game here by both players. Amazing aggression by Kingstone. Amazing defense here by Zed. How many of us would have GG'd 25, 30 minutes ago when we lost our entire base? I mean, if you've ever played multiplayer games, so, a 4-on-4, a 3-on-3, etc., there's always a scenario once every 5, 6, 7 games where a player loses their base and then runs into their neighbor's base to slowly rebuild while the neighbors carry the game for a while. But you can't do that on a 1v1. So kudos to Zed. And like I said, if anyone knows this player's real name, do let me know. Always happy to give, pat on the back where necessary. But yeah, our aggression from the Korean player just won the day. So GG for both players, and fantastic game. Both players played really well. One offensively, one defensively. I wish we would have seen more Ghulams, but it is what it is, and Kingstone takes the day. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and I'll see you at the next one. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.